Mitt Romney says if he's elected president, he'll do nothing to solve the housing crisis. He'll let the market correct. That sounds eerily familiar, like the mayor from Jaws. And we know what happened to him. Over 4 million people have lost their homes. 6 million more may be on the way. Clearly, something's afoot. But where's Sherlock Holmes when you need him? What does a loaf of bread have to do with the housing and mortgage crisis? I'll show you, but there's no fish involved. All this and more from another report from underneath the blue tarp. Now let's take a look at what this means in terms that your loan officer never talks to you about. Because after all, debt-to-income ratios and loan-to-values, that's enough to make anyone's brain shut off. Hence, the loaf of bread. Now imagine that this loaf of bread is your entire gross family income. Remember, a third of it is supposed to be where you need to shoot for if you're going to apply for a mortgage. So, a third of this bread is roughly right about here. Looks pretty safe, doesn't it? But I'm going to show you what it really means. When you use your gross income to determine your ability to afford a housing payment, you're really not using a third of it. You're really using over half of it, because your net income is considerably less. And even your final tax rate, for most people, it's over 25%. So it's not just a third, it's more like a half. This is what you're really left with at the end of the day. But what doesn't this include? It doesn't include expenses for kids, insurance, home expenses, all the things that life entails and is very costly. So at the end, this could be your safety margin. And remember, this is at 33%, or a third of your gross monthly income. Now we're going to get down to one of the main reasons why we're in this crisis. And this housing and mortgage meltdown, it's just like an onion to me, only the layers are infinite. As soon as I think I have all the layers, there's more. This is the big one of the very, very big ones. Now remember, when a lot of people bought homes from 2004 to 2008, the median price of those homes were 5.5 times median family income. So it wasn't 3 to 1, it was like 5 to 1 without any down payment. And a lot of people didn't use any down payment. And a lot of subprime loans, and even a lot of prime loans were approved with that final housing allowance over 50%. But most of the loans, a lot of the loans, purchases and refinances, that final number was somewhere between 42 and 50%. So imagine, now you're starting with about half of the bread, before taxes, before expenses. So it's 50-50. But we know that 50-50 is really 75%. So this is your safety net before all the other expenses in life get taken in that are never counted on your mortgage application. For all of you who are looking for a home right now, and you contact your realtor be it a favorite or someone who was referred to you, you will hear the words that I consider the most dreaded when you go to look for a home. And those words are, we need a loan pre-approval. Because let me tell you, that begins the slippery slope into buying a house that you can't afford. That every part of the housing industry is paid on commission. So the more you spend, the more money they make. It's only human nature. So when your realtor or if a loan officer says, let's get pre-approved, kindly decline. And say to them, you say, Rob Catula from Under the Blue Tarp told you that a pre-approval isn't worth the paper it's printed on. Because until you have an actual ratified contract, it just gives you an idea of the most you can afford, not what you should afford. And you know what? If they complain, bring your loaf of bread. And if they get really snarky, say, you know what? I'm going to go hire someone else. And I'm going to enjoy this piece of bread with olive oil.
Till next time.